Paul George, such a pleasure to have you in Philadelphia. A pleasure to have your family playing behind you here in Philadelphia. The first thing I want to ask you about, you said that you and Joel Embiid share a bit of a friendship that developed throughout All-Star games together. Can you take us inside what it's been like to get to know him and what we're not seeing?
Like I said, I'm more of an internal person. He's more of an internal person. And during All-Star weekend, like, we kind of keep to ourselves. But what I've found, like, gradually we just tend to kind of connect and talk to each other. And, you know, like I said, just see how each other's doing, just checking in. And I think over time it just developed into like, hey, this dude is pretty cool. Like, we're like-minded. We're kind of similar people. And so that was kind of just where the relationship developed to where now, you know, I feel like, you know, we set like a foundation of our friendship. And, you know, since I've been here, we've kind of been communicating, you know, on a weekly basis. You know, we talk and keep up with one another. So our friendship has definitely grown.
You said on your Podcast P, that you guys are both maybe a little bit more introverted than people externally might realize. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about your introverted side and where that manifests versus the character that you play out on the court?
Yeah, I'm you know, the person that overthinks and in my head, and, you know, I tend to like to just be to myself and keep a small circle. And that's, I found, is what's comfortable for me. Yeah. That works for me. And so the person on the court is just, you know, at times I don't recognize just because it's not who I am naturally, you know, with the emotion and the energy. But I think it's good. You should have a alter ego to yourself. And I think mine comes out on the court where people don't generally think, oh, he's a quiet guy. But I am actually probably pretty quiet when you don't know me.
Cool to hear that you have that connection with Joel then, because that's sort of how he speaks about his own personality. When you think about playing with Joel, with Tyrese, with Kelly Oubre, someone you've also talked about admiration for on your podcast, when you envision what this team is going to look like on opening night, what do you see? How do you describe the basketball that you guys could play together?
I just see a lot of energy, a lot of fun, fast pace. Just, you know, guys getting after it defensively, getting stops, allowing Tyrese to push and run the team. And I just think we could just be dominant. You know, we could be a dominant group with so much depth. It's going to be a lot of fun, and especially in that arena, it's the fans, you know, being on the other side, you feel what that energy and that intensity is like. So to now be in front of them and be on their side, you know, it's going to be surreal. I'm looking forward to that moment.
I want to know what you've observed about Tyrese Maxey up until this point before becoming teammates. What stands out about him to you as a young player?
I think just his maturity. I talked to him a little bit before coming here. He's just a mature kid. You know, you talk about what he's been asked to do in such a short period of time, from, you know, playing off the ball, playing on the ball, playing without Joel, seeing so many different coverages. He's just grown so much, and you can see that. I think he's just the perfect combination of someone that's ready, and you know, it's just the sky's the limit for the kid. He's a sponge. He listens, and he just wants to be great, and that's what you want out of young guys.
It was his first All-Star season. It was also his most improved player season. You two share that in common. First All-Star season, most improved player season. If you could give yourself at that point in your career some advice, or maybe even give Tyrese some advice about where he is on this sort of like precipice of brilliance that now you've achieved, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I think I would just tell myself, just continue on. Obviously, I'm happy where my career has turned out, but it's just staying true to myself, and I think I've done that. I haven't tried to be someone that I'm not, and that's gone a long ways for me. And so, you know, that'd just be the advice, is just remain true to myself and be real and authentic. Because as I've learned, people gravitate towards that more so than when it's not authentic and you're trying to, you know, be something that you're not. So, you know, it just sounds cliche, but it's been kind of who I've been, and that's just being Paul George.
Yeah, being authentic is really challenging in your line of work. Who do you lean on, or what do you rely on to stay authentic to who you are?
Family. Family. They keep me grounded. All the way around. They inspire me. They keep me grounded. They keep me motivated, keep me dedicated. And so really without them, it will be easy to get lost in the sauce. But having them around and, it definitely helps. Hard times, someone to talk to, and just for advice, they help a ton with that.
I know that Kawhi Leonard gave you some input on what he felt as a disciple of Nick Nurse, as a student of Nick Nurse. And you said upstairs just now that when Kawhi talks, people listen. So if you don't mind, what did Kawhi share with you about Nick Nurse as a head coach?
No, he loved him. He loved him. He spoke highly, said, Nick Nurse is locked in. You're going to love him, his coaching. He coaches hard. But, he was like, what you'll love is that, he's very decisive on what he wants to do, and he's going to lead. And so that conversation with Kawhi helped a ton with just me not knowing Nick personally, but to have someone that's won a championship with Nick Nurse speak highly on him, ultimately played a heavy part on my decision and kind of helped with the decision. But yeah, when Kawhi makes the statement, it's kind of, you put a stamp on it.
This is the question I personally was most excited to ask you about. I'm fascinated by players with podcasts and the voice that you've been able to give yourself in creating a super successful podcast. What's the best thing about having your own platform?
I think the best thing is just getting my messages across the way I want to. So you're hearing it right from the source and not, this source says or that source says. For me to be able to communicate it to the fans, to the people directly from myself. I think at the end of the day, I feel comfortable with whatever message goes out there because I know it's coming from me. And so it's a chance for me to kind of address anything that's going on, whether it's good times, it's bad times. I'm able to address and be human. And I think the fans have enjoyed that. Again, it goes down to the authenticity.
Okay, rapid fire. You ready?
Let's go.
3 words to describe yourself.
I would say, damn.
Not that. This one you can think on. You can think on. We'll warm up.
I'm going to say passionate, loyal, and easygoing.
Favorite cities to play in?
Philadelphia.
Great answer.
Is it 3?
Sure, 3 cities.
Philadelphia, LA, obviously, and New York.
3 players that you've played with that have had the greatest impact on you.
Roy Hibbert, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard.
Players you're most excited to play with.
Joel, Tyrese, and Kelly.
Best thing about having a podcast?
I get to say what I want, when I want, and not feel bad about it.
Podcasts you listen to besides your own?
The Pivot.
What makes a good teammate?
I think someone that listens, someone that has great leadership qualities, and just in this business, you need people that you can lean on, and I think that goes a long ways because it's a long year, and you need people that you can rely on.
And last but not least, what makes a great team?
I think respect. I think leadership. I think everyone being on the same page and just having one agenda, I think makes a great team.
Paul George, welcome to Philadelphia. Thank you for being here. We're really excited to see you play.
Let's go. Philly up. Let's do it.